Welcome into the Packers offensive breakdown of their Week 13 matchup against the Miami Dolphins. This was a clean, efficient game despite struggles on the ground for both teams. The Packers offense, they averaged a cool 7.3 yards per play, which is quite solid. They ran 12 fewer plays than the Dolphins, yet still outgained them in yardage. And let's take a look at the film. Let's see what the film tells us about how they played against the Dolphins. All right, we're going to start it out with a near big play. Let's kind of play this through. Stepping up into the pocket. And you got a deep shot there. Unfortunate. You do have this too high look, and you've got 3 vertical routes. All right, so we have this kind of underneath that's crossing. You've got Reed going deep. And you're going to take that deep shot against the safety because the second high safety is going to attach to Wicks there, and it just gets overthrown. You've got some pressure in the face of Love, so that's why he's not able to make an accurate pass. Moving forward, doesn't really have his base set, so it's going to be a little bit of an overthrow here. And what could have been a massive potential score to start the game is just an incomplete pass on a second down, moving to third down. All right, next thing, we're just going to quickly show a punt. That big play leads to a punt. They're not able to convert on third down, but luckily enough, Daniel Whelan, the secret weapon of the Packers, the special teams, able to punt this downfield, and in the swirling winds of Lambeau, with snow flurries falling down, able to get a muffed punt here and an easy recovery, putting the Packers within the 10-yard line. And after that, possession switches over. You've got a couple tough runs by Jacobs, making this, third and short here, essentially. So this is 3rd and goal after 2 runs by Jacobs. And Reed is going to get a touchdown here. He's got a nice delay. Go back to the very start here. So obviously, Packers love their play action, right? So they're going to do this play action. Reed is going to get up to the next level, acting as if he's doing a stock block here. And then he's going to quickly break out beyond the goal line, and he's going to score this touchdown. So a very good throw there by Love. So one of the things that Love generally does a pretty good job of are these outs, which is one of the toughest throws in football. So able to get enough on this, getting it outside only where his receiver is going to be able to get it. You can see if he throws that ball any further behind, that could be knocked down and lead to a field goal, if not intercepted. So good throw there by Love. Nice catch by Reed, getting the Packers on the board. All right, and if you're wondering why there's not going to be a lot of runs in this breakdown, is because most of the runs look like this. All right, we'll go back to the start, but this is essentially what most of the runs look like. The Dolphins, their defensive line, it's full of big boys, right? You've got a bunch of thick bodies here on the defensive line. So on the inside, it's very hard for our players, the offensive line, to get a push. And you've got these linebackers, number 20, number 11, that are very aggressive in filling the gaps. So most of the runs throughout the game look like that. There are a couple runs that we'll look at. I think we'll have one more run that we look at, which is going to be the second longest gain by Wilson. But there was just nothing on the ground. All right, next, this could have been a disaster for the Packers. You've got Wicks over the middle of the field, wide open. And again, trying to catch with his forearms rather than his hands. And you can see he is very upset with himself. But attacking the middle of the field, a perfect throw. Hits him in the forearm, not the hands. Bounces up. And that could have very nearly been an interception. Number 4 hurts his back there, unfortunately. But you've got the motion across. See the eyes manipulating. Wicks, I think he was bracing for the contact. Eyes come off the football. Ball bounces up and luckily takes a Packers bounce. We'll have another run here, but this is just to show some of the missed assignments. You've got a couple people going for the same person, and it'll be a lot easier to see. So Wicks, I don't think, had a very good game. And you can see you've got Ryan, you've got Wicks. If each of these guys take one person each, take the safety, take the backer, then this could be a long run, right? You can have Watson get the seal here, Tom kicking out. That's going to give you a nice lane, and then you have to beat Poyer down here at the bottom. However, both Ryan, both Wicks are going to try to block number 11, and that's going to leave Holland in a position to make a play, which is going to stop the run. So even when the Packers runs, you know, the play call is perfect and they could get the blocks down and it would be an explosive run, the execution just wasn't there. So both teams struggled on the ground, and we'll see that when I break down the Packers defense. There was just not a lot of room for either team. And then I'll show you just the contrast. Here you have the second longest run of the game on a third down. So that's Emmanuel Wilson. Brooks had the longest run of 18 yards, and he had to break a few tackles to get there. But this is probably the most sound technically in terms of the run blocking. Able to spring Wilson for a decent gain before he gets pulled down. So here, again, why does this work? You've got such a light front here that you've essentially got 5 guys in the box here. So this is numbers game. You just want to be able to run the ball if they've only got 5 in the box. And 11 just misses his tackle, gets caught up by Poyer before he's able to scamper into the end zone. Then naturally, as you have the other backs do your work, you just hand it off to Jacobs. Love getting hit there as he hands it off, but Jacobs just has to make one guy miss and keep his legs moving into the end zone. So just an easy touchdown here. 95 almost disrupts the play in the backfield, but doesn't quite do enough. So when the running backs aren't getting things done, you've got to go to the receivers. And here you've got an end around. So this was actually the longest run of the game. But in terms of the running backs, the longest run was 18, followed by 15 by Wilson. So if you can't get things going between the tackles, why not do a jet sweep here, an end around, and you're able to get an explosive play. So you can see the respect that Miami has for Jacobs just based on the movement of the offensive line, and even the respect here of him coming inside. And he's not going to be able to get outside and chase Reed. So Reed makes a couple guys miss, able to get 20 yards down the field for the longest run of the game for either team. All right, next play, we're going to focus on Christian Watson here. He's going to have a big catch here, stemming up, going outside. Illegal contact, a little bit of a hold, still fights through it, and he's able to get a nice first down. So this is essentially a blaze out. All right, so he's trying to get inside, but he's going to jump outside here and then blaze out for a deep out beyond the sticks. He's trying to get this DB to bite inside and then fight around him. Tries to sell vertical again, and that's when the DB grabs him. He's able to get outside. Nice catch for a first down. So well done by Christian Watson there, fighting through the contact, catching the ball, moving the sticks. All right, then we're going to have a touchdown here to Jaden Reed. So just an RPO. Good block downfield by Wicks. And again, I say this over and over again, but even when Wicks is having a bad game in terms of his drops, in terms of his route running, you know, he's willing to be a team player here and block downfield. And this is just another example of that. So you can see everyone stuck in the box. It's just a numbers advantage. If we've got 3 out here on 2 defenders, and you've got 2 blockers, you're going to take that all day. All right, so as long as you get good blocks from your receivers here, which you do, Watson does just enough to seal him. Guaranteed first down. Wicks doing work downfield, getting a touchdown for the team. So well done there by the Packers. All right, next play. I think this is a broken coverage by the Dolphins. Here you're essentially going to get zone on one side, and then you're going to get a lock here, right? So they're going to lock the backside, meaning this is going to be man coverage. Meanwhile, because you've got the trip side over here, you're going to get help over the top in a zone. And with having this, you're essentially going to get a cover 6 where you'll have a deep quarter, and then he should be the deep half here, helping over the top of the lock receiver. But he's going to get sucked down in the middle, and this is going to open up a huge play for the Packers. So let's see that happen. You've got the motion. You can kind of see it's a zone, right? On this side of the field, you've got the middle read player. You've got vision on the QB and the flat, vision on the QB, vision on the QB in case there's an outlet over here. Meanwhile, this guy's on man. So his eyes get stuck in the backfield. He's looking back at the QB, and then he's going to see this route come in underneath. So he shifts over to help here. Meanwhile, he's leaving his teammate alone on an island. And Watson is able to separate there at the top of the route using that speed. That's one reason why Watson is very, very valuable to this team, is he can create that separation late in the route just because of his long stride and his speed. So you can see, separates, makes a nice diving catch, and a big play for the Packers. Even if Jacobs wasn't able to be productive on the ground, he's going to make yards different ways. And obviously this is through the air with a nice juke there of 11. And you've got Reed throwing blocks downfield, able to get a massive gain for the Packers. So even when things aren't working completely to his favor on the ground, again, he can be creative in other ways. And this is something that we hadn't seen in the past of Jacobs when he was with the Raiders. But with the Packers, he has done an excellent job. And that's just a great juke. And teammates throwing blocks downfield, allowing Jacobs to get even more yards. So 49 yards on that game there. Eventually led to a Packers field goal. And here we have the final play that I'm going to show you, which is just an attempt to ice the game here. And you've got Christian Watson, again, that deep threat. And this ball, I think, is just underthrown. This is a third down, trying to take a deep shot, put up another touchdown, ice the game here late. And it is the right call. I think the ball is just underthrown there. And I also don't really like the effort by Watson. I think that's an area he can improve, is these contested catches down the field, stopping more on a dime, right? Fighting through that contact because he knows it's underthrown, and trying to sell it a little bit more, right? Not that I'm a big fan of, acting and trying to get a call, but I think if he fights more, tries to high point this football, then he's more likely to get a call for pass interference if he doesn't come down with it. So definitely an area that he can improve. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Obviously, we're happy with a 30-17 victory against the Dolphins here. The offense was efficient enough. They had a few big play opportunities that could have made this lead even larger, but anytime you're putting up 30 points in the NFL, that is a good day. So well played by the Packers offense, and I will be back with another video on the Packers defense against the Dolphins coming later today. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your support, and I will see you in the next video.